Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today guys, before I get to my responses to all the questions that you guys asked me last week when I asked you to ask me questions for my Q&A video, I have something I want to tell you guys and just give you guys a heads up on. There are going to be no uploads Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. The reason why there's going to be no uploads on Monday is because my family and I are going to be celebrating my birthday. Yes. I'm going to be turning 24 years old. My real birthday date is May 30th, but on May 30th, I'll be celebrating with my friends, and on Monday, I'll be celebrating with my family, so I want to spend time with my family, guys, so no uploads for Monday, guys. I apologize, but I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. So, without further ado, I'm going to go question by question, go through all the questions. Pretty much I'm going to pause the video, go to another question, pause the video, go to another question, and we'll go through all these questions that you guys asked me. So let's get started, guys. So guys, the question we got here is from Michael Vog. I cannot pronounce your name. It's Michael Vaughn. I cannot pronounce it. Volgin. I'm probably butchering your name, and please, I apologize a million times over. But he asked me, who is your favorite anime protagonist? Yes, I like saying protagonist like that because of Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge. Yu-Gi-Oh!, Jaden, Yusei, or Yuma. What is your advice to someone who is planning to do their own YouTube video? YouTube vlog. Okay. I have a million different things to say to that. I probably will do a video eventually on that when I get like 1,000 subscribers so I can tell you my experiences, but I will give you advice, my friend Michael. My favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist. Yugi, Yusei, Jaden, the new guy. Actually, the new guy could actually beat Jaden out as one of my favorite, because the new guy in Arc V, which I would highly suggest anybody watch, because that is actually a pretty dang good show. I put it on par with Jaden and Duel Academy or Yusei. It's pretty good. It's A+. I mean, they got fusions, they got synchros, they got dual schools. It's everything I could ever want in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Show since the beginning, except it doesn't have history like Yugi and the Pharaoh did. But Yugi, Yusei, Jaden, Yuma's definitely last. I think in Season 2, Yuma got better as a duelist, but he kind of annoys me somewhat. But Jaden I can stand because he reminds me of a college guy, or like college kids. So yeah. And what is my advice to someone planning their own Yu-Gi-Oh! Video or YouTube vlog? Consistency. Try to upload consistent as possible. Be dedicated. Be dedicated to your channel. Stick to trying to do your videos the best you can. Only upload videos that you feel like you personally would want to watch. So you yourself would watch. Critique yourself. Be able to take constructive criticism. People are going to probably say some horrible things about you, but just let it go off your backside of your back. Be water off a duck's back. And also, something that works for me is always have like a little mini booklet or like somewhere you can write notes down of ideas for videos that you could do in the future. Always have a piece of paper and pencil on you so you can always write those down, because you'll get them from watching other people's videos, ideas. You'll also get ideas from just random things in the day happening to you, or you're daydreaming. And lastly, the last thing I can tell you is you're not going to become a superstar overnight. I've been doing this channel for over 2 years, almost a year and a half now, and I only have some 100 subscribers. Look at some of these other people. They got like 20,000, and look at some other YouTube channels that are not Yu-Gi-Oh! Related. They have like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. So you're not going to probably become a sensation overnight. And the last advice I can give to you, my friend Michael, is be unique. Try to be yourself. Don't try to be something you're not. Don't be. Be yourself. Act yourself. Be like what I'm doing right now, being myself. Even though it may be weird, be yourself, and people will like you because you're being calm in front of the camera. And practice in front of the camera. Practice in front of the camera so you get used to talking to people. That's another thing, advice I could say. And have good lighting. There's a million different things I could say, but I'll probably do a video eventually when I hit 1,000 subscribers on that. But you gave me an idea for a video in the future, man. But I hope I gave you good advice. So on to the other questions now. So guys, the first question is from Hex Steckman, and he asks, do you like when Konami definitely favors and pushes a deck extremely hard, like what they are doing with Sylvans at the moment? They're not just doing it with Sylvans, but they're also doing it with Noble Knights and Boojins, because Boojins have been getting support for pretty much a year now. They've been getting support for an entire year because they came out in Judgment of the Light, which is, yeah, almost a year old now. Can't believe that's almost a year old. But do I like it when they're pushing archetypes really hard and you absolutely know it? It depends. Madolches, I mean, I personally play Madolches. They gave Angeli out, but, you know, the only time I actually really liked that they were pushing a archetype per se is when they were pushing the legendary Six Samurais, because I was pretty much, when Extreme Victory came out, I was pretty much coming out of high school, and pretty much at that time I was coming back into playing Yu-Gi-Oh with people at my community college, and then freaking Storm of Ragnarok came out. And I was like, oh, Legendary Six Samurais. I used to play these Six Samurais. I still got my old Six Samurai deck. Oh, cool. New support for Six Samurais. I'm going to play Six Samurais with the Legendary Six Samurais. So that was like the only time, really, I was happy that they were pushing a certain archetype. I don't like it overall, but it just depends. Do I personally like the archetype, or do I not play the archetype? I mean, you have to put yourself in the person's shoes that are playing that archetype. They spent money in that, to build this deck, and they want more support so they can play the deck and maybe top eventually. So I understand that aspect, but I know from other players' perspective, it's kind of annoying because you're like, well, this deck is getting really, really too good for its own britches or something of that nature. But that's my opinion to your question, Hex Stickman. So let's go on to the next question. The next question is from Yugi UK Traders. I like you using that. It's cool that you put Yugi UK Traders. That's really cool. I like how you did that. So his question is, thoughts on Boojins, as in what they used to be, a control deck with Kaiser and Vanities. Because of the new support, do you now think that they are more like dragons or mermaids, or where they spam the field? So my thoughts on that exactly is, I still kind of feel that, the Boojin players that I play against personally, they still play their Boojin deck even with the new support. They play it still as a control variation. Kaiser Coliseum has been around for a long time. People should know this. This card's been out for ages. If my memory, I remember a long, long time ago, back when Blackwings first came out, which personally I feel that Boojins are kind of like Blackwings in a way, because that they do have 3 Crane, just like Blackwings have 3 Kalute, so they kind of have that same similarity. Also, like Blackwings have Shura, Boojins have Yamato. Kind of, if you understand the correlation between that. Except, I think Boojins are a step up, an upgrade from Blackwings. They're better than Blackwings. But back in the day, Blackwings actually kind of did use cards like Kaiser Coliseum. Not every Blackwing player did this, but I know personally from playing against other Blackwing builds back in the day, when I went to regionals and things like that, people were maining Kaiser Coliseum in Blackwings back in the day. But that was a long, long time ago. I still don't know personally if they're more like mermaids or dragons. If you're talking about dragon rulers in their prime, when they had, Super Rejuvenation, and we had Dragosac just came out in Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, I don't think they're anywhere as near as bad as that deck. If anything, they're more like mermaids, but like I said, I personally feel like they're more like Blackwings because of the fact that they still, the Boojin players I've played online and in real life, they feel like they're still trying to play a control deck. Pretty much all the Boojin players that I've played against, they still run Kaiser Coliseums, they still run their Cranes, some of them still run their Turtles. They may play one of the new Boojin cards, but it really still feels more like a control deck personally. Yes, it does spam the field a little bit, but it still feels control like they're trying to control the tempo of the game. And when you have to go against Yamato with something like that, they still have their 3 tankies so they can search out Yamato, which is their main card. But they try to make you dance to their tune. They try to make you waste resources to get around their Crane and Yamato, and they try to win in that aspect, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So that's my thoughts on Bujins. So let's go into the next question. Guys, we got another question here from Hex Stickman, and he asks me, what options and abilities do you want in a deck when you are building it? Synchros or XYZs in general? Do you like fun decks or competitive meta decks more? Honestly, after playing this game of Yu-Gi-Oh! For so many years, I get more fun. I play this game more for fun now than competitively. I do build competitive decks, but I build them because I like the archetype or I like the way the deck plays. I don't just build the deck because I'm like, oh, it's going to top. Like when Dragon Rulers came out, and everybody and his brother was building Dragon Rulers. I didn't build Dragon Rulers. Why? Because I was like, I just want to play for fun. This game has become more of a thing I like doing just for fun now. I mean, I've played competitively for, since pretty much since I was like 15, 14 years old, and now I'm turning 24, and it's just like, well, I want to play this game more just for fun because it's an outlet for me. It's a stress reliever. It makes me think when I'm playing, different cards and combos, and it's fun to just play with some buds and friends instead of playing some random dudes in some big YCS tournament that I'll probably never talk to again. But that's just personal opinion. Do I like playing competitively still? Yeah. Do I like to still have a competitive edge and keep all my decks up to date on everything using, indirect support and direct support? Heck yeah. So it just depends how I'm feeling, but I prefer playing more fun decks than competitive decks. I don't just build a competitive deck just to be competitive. If I build it, it's because I like the archetype. So hope that answered that question. But also you asked me what options and abilities when you look for when building a deck. This is something that I actually want to do a video on down the road, hopefully. This is something I've always kept in my memory bank. I want to talk about what I look for in a deck, or why I play this game. But those are 2 different videos for 2 later dates, but I will go over them right now. When I'm building a deck, I look for flexibility. I look for either a deck that can search or search well or have some decent draw power to it. So it's flexible, it's versatile. If I get stuck in a certain situation, I can go to the extra deck, or I can search a monster out in the main deck to get out of that certain situation. So, like with Gravekeepers, I can go with Gravekeeper's Assailant to get over big monsters. I can use Descendant in destroying back row or big monsters in the front row. And I can continuously gain advantage by using Gravekeeper's Stele, using Gravekeepers. And I can, search monsters out with, Gravekeeper's Recruiter. And plus I can shut down the opponent's graveyard with Necro Valley. I like a deck that's versatile like that. That's one of the reasons why I've always loved Gravekeepers. But I do like decks that do spam from time to time, but they can go to the extra deck and get off certain situations, like gadgets. I can use 101 to get around a big monster. I can use Maestro to flip a monster down and get over it. I can use this to get over that. It doesn't matter if it's Exceeds or Synchros, as long as it helps me get off certain situations, and it's a versatile deck. And it has some good searching or good draw power. That's not with all of my decks, but a multitude of my decks, that's what I look for when I'm building a deck. And some good traps. Good traps. Always want those good staple traps to stop your opponent from getting off their key plays. I've never liked decks that are one-trick ponies or just go bleh on the field, I just spilled out 4 monsters and I've lost Torrential Tribune. I gained no advantage back to my hand. I like continuously gaining some sort of advantage through searching or drawing in my hand. So that is what I look for when I'm building a deck. But there'll be a video on that later on in the future. Expect that. So let's get on to the next question. So our next question here is from SH Stealth, and he asks, "Are you going to do a spellcaster deck? If so, when?" So many questions. Honestly, I upload that spellcaster deck like you asked me. I apologize it took me so freaking long. The reason why it took me so long is every time I got my new iPod, and every time I tried to record it, it either would cut, right at the end off, and we couldn't get the entire deck through, or he just didn't have the time to do the deck. But also, on another note, I do plan possibly, this is something I'm concocting in my head, of revisiting my Dark Magician deck. Now, it's not going to be Dark Magician with the new fusion support that Dark Magician got. It's going to be a Dark Magician Spellcaster and Friends type deck. But we're going to have to wait and see on how I develop that deck further. But that'll be something for the fall and winter of 2014 I'll be working on probably. So let's get on to the next question. So our next question, guys, comes from Vampire Zam 5, and he asks me, how many times have you won your locals? How many people usually participate there? Is it easy to top? And will you upload any duel videos in the future? For that last question there, yes, I plan to upload duel videos in the future. I am pulling teeth, trying to get internet. If anybody is watching this video and knows the difference between 16 megabytes per second upload and 8 megabytes per second upload, and what's the better type of internet, because we can't get Wi-Fi here, not Wi-Fi, excuse me, we can't get Fios. But if somebody knows the difference in internet and knows, what's the better type of internet to get just in general, I'd be very, very thankful to you to tell me, because I am not tech savvy. But I do plan to upload dual videos in the future. I'm going to continuously kind of try to do them as much as I can. But when I get internet, it's going to be a part of the channel. Deck building videos, dual videos, it's going to be a part of this channel along with discussions and things of that nature. It's going to be, I want to make this channel as versatile as possible in many different aspects. But on to your other questions that you asked me. How many times have I topped at my locals? I have to say, first off, there have been many locals that I've gone to throughout the years, probably 10, 15 locals. Some of them open up, they're open for a year or two, and then they close down. So there's been many locals I've played Yu-Gi-Ohs at. My college is kind of my locals. I mean, I played at Toys R Us back when you were able to play Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh at Toys R Us back in the day, but no longer. So I've played. There's not just one locals that I go to. There's not just one card shop that I go to. I mean, heck, my locals sometimes is a McDonald's where we have 20, 30 guys participate there. It depends on which one I go to. Sometimes there's 60 guys. Sometimes there's 80 at some locals. Sometimes at my college there's 20, 30, 40 guys that play Yu-Gi-Oh! So it just really depends. And is it easy to top? It depends upon the locals. It really depends upon where you're going, because there's different people there from different walks of life. There have been some locals in places I've gone to where there's people that have won regionals, topped at regionals. They've been to YCSs. They've topped at YCSs. There's even been a couple of guys that I've personally met that have been to nationals and topped at nationals in the past. So it just depends where you go. It really does. And how many times have I topped? Somewhere between 15 and 40 maybe. Maybe even more than 40. I honestly don't know. I'd be lying to you because I've been playing this game for so long. I kind of lost track after 10. And I really lost track. So, yeah. I can honestly tell you I lost track, and I can't honestly give you an exact answer. I know it's more than 15, and I know it's probably somewhere around 40, give or take 5 maybe. I don't know. I'd be lying to you, but I know it's more than 15. But next, guys, let's go on to the next question, and I hope I answered that question as best I could. So next up, guys, we have, Ruben Manzoy, and he asked me, I'm sorry I can't pronounce some of you guys' names properly, but he says, can you name all the decks you currently use and have? Also, which decks do you look forward to making, and which decks are you currently building? Thanks, Seto. Well, you're welcome, man. So, what decks am I currently using and have? Oh my gosh. So I gotta name off all 21 decks. I don't think I could do this. Too much pressure. Okay, let's see here. Exodia, Skill Drain, Gravekeepers, Six Samurais, Hunders, Harpies. Did I say Hunders already? Fire Kings, Dark Worlds, 6 Sams, did I say that? Skill Drain, Marauding Captain deck. Hail to Perfection. Horus the Black Flame Dragon, Blue Eyes White Dragon, Cyber Dragons, Black Wings. I'm kind of losing track. I lost track. But yes, that's all the ones I can name off the top of my head. Gravekeepers also. I don't think I said Gravekeepers. But those are the decks I can name off the top of my head. What decks am I currently building? I just finished 2 decks over the last 2 months. Like, they're pretty much, I'm going to say this right now. Looking forward into the next 2 sets, Duelist Alliance and the set after Duelist Alliance, or Duelist Advent, as it's called in Japan. There's really nothing involving pendulum summoning that I really want to build. The only thing that I really want to touch is the set after Duelist Alliance, where we have the Hail of Perfection, the new Hail of Perfection ritual monster. Besides that, there's really nothing I really want to build. 2 decks that I just finished that I haven't deck profiled for you guys yet is Harpies, which I was working on towards, I guess you could say, December, January, and February. I was putting together, and I just finished them in pretty much the mid-March, and I've been testing them, finding a build I personally like ever since then, and it should be uploaded after I get my stuff, or after I go to my locals tonight and get all my stuff from Primal Origins, and then I'll probably upload it in a week or so. Hunders, I reinvented my Hunders deck. I pretty much used to play Hunders for about a month and a half, put the deck away, and then I yanked it back out over about 2 months ago, and I rebuilt it, and I will have a deck profile of that as well in the future. Plus, I will be doing deck profiles of all my other decks, 2019 decks that I run. So, a lot of deck profiles coming your way, guys, over the next couple of weeks, probably. As to what decks I'm thinking about in the future, like I said earlier, Dark Magician, Spellcaster, and Friends type deck, maybe. That depends on money, what other things are coming out in the future, because I don't want to spend all my money on Yu-Gi-Oh, guys. But other decks I was thinking of is Amazons, maybe. I just want to play it for fun. Light Swarms, I will be building the Light Storm structure deck. Also, I will be building, whenever it comes out, I will be building the Masked Hero deck. I will be building that. I want to build that. I used to play with Elemental Heroes back when I was little, about 15 or 14, excuse me, 15, 16, 17-ish. And I really want to play Masked Heroes again. So, well, not Masked Heroes, Heroes in general again. So, Light Swarms, Heroes, definitely. Amazons, possibly. Dark Magician, possibly. If we ever get the OCG support for Gagagas and Heraldic Beast, those 2 decks will also be built as well. There's really not Shaddolls and anything coming out in Duelist Alliance I really want to build. Dragulons, Shaddolls, Fantasia monsters, they're cool and everything, but they're not a deck I want to personally spend money and build, if you understand what I'm trying to say. But I hope I answered that question. I mean, heck, there could be a deck down the road that comes out that I want to build, but those are the decks that I'm probably going to build between now and like October, November of 2014. I want to save my money up because pretty much I will say this before I end this question is every set that comes out in a new series, so like when Synchros first came out, when XYZ's first came out, and probably what it looks like what's going to happen with Pendulum Monsters. The first 3 to 4 sets, I don't really build a deck. I wait and see what's going to happen, pick up which cards I can use for the future, and I just move on my merry way. But we'll have to see what happens. I don't know what decks I'm going to build in the future except Heroes, Light Swarms, Heraldic Beast, Dark Magician possibly, and Gaga Magicians if they get their OCG support. So let's move on to the next question. Sorry guys that this video is taking so freaking long, and if you're still watching it, kudos to you. So next up, guys, we have Infernal Zubrat, and he asked me also, do you choose not to use cards that you deem to be too powerful in your deck, and because of this, do you constantly fall behind? Or do you follow the main meta because it gets you the wins? I have always given this analogy when trying to follow the main meta or the mainstream of Yu-Gi-Oh! What people are doing. It's like trying to follow a drunk. It's like watching a drunken man on a sidewalk. he's going to be so drunk, he's going to be going back and forth, and he ain't going to know which way he's going to do. Sometimes in Yu-Gi-Oh, one week this deck is popular, next week this deck is popular, the week after that this deck is popular. It constantly changes weekly in some metas. Sometimes it's stagnant, but I really don't follow the main meta. I mean, I have it in mind when I'm building my side deck and stuff, and I keep all my decks up to date, so I don't really constantly fall behind. Do I play cards that I believe are too powerful? I mean, Dark Hole, I play Dark Hole, and that's a powerful card, but I mean, I don't play Soul Charge in any of my decks because I don't want to invest in a card that I believe personally, has a very good chance of getting either banned or limited. So I want to see what the ban list has to say first, then I'll go buy that card. I want to hear what Konami has to say, is it another 6 cents? I didn't play 6 cents when 6 cents was out. But because I don't play 6 cents or Soul Charge, I don't have a problem of falling behind really that badly. It's usually neck and neck, most cases for me. But on to the next question, guys. So, guys, next up on the questionnaire is Yu-Gi-Oh! Excuse me, not Yu-Gi-Oh! YGO Tolley. I can't pronounce your name. Tolley. And he asked me, do you do trades with people from different countries via the post? If so, would love to be able to organize some trades with you. Yes, man. Also, I did check out your channel and I did subscribe for the support. So, yes. Upload some more videos. Get some more videos out there, man, but you're fine. I'd be interested in doing trades via post, but I have to get to know the person personally and trust them and things of that nature, but I would be interested. So next question, guys. So guys, the next question here we have here today is from Infernal Zubat, who I think, man, you've asked me like 3 or 4 questions, but that is perfectly fine with me, as long as everybody else is okay with that. But he asked me, which do you think is better overall, or which do you know more about? If you can't choose, Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Which one do I know more about? Yu-Gi-Oh! I know more about Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I've played competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't play competitive Pokemon. I do have a Pokemon deck. I have a Sabrina Gym Leader deck that my friend helped me build a couple months ago. I play Yu-Gi-Oh! On my Wii and Game Boy and all that, so I know everything there is about the game and whatnot. I know how to do EV training and all that, but I don't really do it. I just play the game for fun. I play it with my friends. I read the manga, the Pokemon mangas. I read the Pokemon mangas, and I still watch Pokemon shows, and I still watch the old ones and new ones, and I like them just as much. So I'm more knowledgeable in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I play competitively in Yu-Gi-Oh! I've never played competitive in Pokemon. So I'd say more knowledgeable in Yu-Gi-Oh! Than Pokemon. Which one do I enjoy more? Pokemon, just a little bit. It does depend upon the day and how I'm feeling. Sometimes it's Pokemon, sometimes it's Yu-Gi-Oh! It just depends. Which one do I think has a better community? I think Pokemon has a better community. I've never met a bad Pokemon personality-wise. They're a bad person. I've met some bad kind of asshole type people in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes, but each community has its good people and its bad people. You have your good apples and you have your bad apples, but I think Pokemon has a better community overall. But that's just my 2 cents on the matter. So on to the couple of the last questions, guys. So next up, guys, we have a question from Adrian Rivera, and I think that name is actually the name of a baseball player. I can't remember, but he says, "Hello, Seto. I'm a beginner duelist, and I was wondering which archetype is the cheapest to make right now, while still being very effective in competitive play. Right now, I am running a Blue Eyes deck, but I have never dueled anyone in real life. If I'm looking to compete in tournaments, should I focus on getting another deck or perfecting my current one?" I have to say, my friend, first off, you worded that question perfectly, flawlessly. Amazing job on your vocabulary. I'm very impressed. I don't know how old you are, though, but very good job. First off, I would say it depends upon your Blue Eyes build. Since you said you do not play Yu-Gi-Oh! In real life, I would highly suggest to you, even if you don't want to play it competitively right now, your Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, I would suggest picking up at least 3 Saga of the Blue Eye structure decks if you can at your local Walmart or card shop, because of the reason that Lightstorm structure deck is about to come out. Cyber Dragon structure deck is about to, has already been out for a while, And these Blue Eye Saga, the Blue Eye Structure decks, are going to probably most likely be going out of print very soon. So I would at least pick them up as soon as you can. They usually cost about $10 a structure deck, so you'd be spending about $30. But if you want to play your Blue Eyes deck in real life, you should be doing that very soon, picking those up. But I would say, depending upon the build you're playing with your Blue Eyes, you can just play that deck as a casual deck. A competitive deck, if you're willing to spend some money on, I would suggest Gear. Now, I don't know how much the prices have gone up since YCS Philly, but last time I checked about 3 weeks ago, everything in the Gear deck has been reprinted except Gear Armor, which is probably like a $15 card, so you need 3 of those. So either Gear, if you're willing to try to go to like regionals or YCS, you're trying to top at a major event, I would suggest Gear maybe. They're fast, they're competitive, they renew resources. Gear Armor is a very good card. I would pick up the deck right now, but I don't personally like the archetype all that much. I just, But I would say Gear. But since you've never played in real life, I may also suggest Gravekeepers to you, because of the reason that pretty much every player that I've ever taught the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! To in real life or for the first time, and even my friends at locals that are teaching a girl right now how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! We are teaching them playing Gravekeepers, because Gravekeepers are simple, effective, cheap, and good. Overall, in our personal opinion. So if you're just trying to go to a locals and win at a locals, I would suggest Gravekeepers. It'll give your opponent headaches with Necro Valley because you'll shut down their soul charge. It's cheap. The only thing you're really going to have to spend money on is your traps, your Fiendish Chains, your Bottomless, your Torrentials, stuff like that. But the only really expensive card you'll be spending is on your Tomb of the Necro Valleys, which is the card that just came out in Legacy of the Valiant. That will be about a $15 card. You only need 2 of those. So if you're willing to drop that money on just your 2 Tomb of the Necro Valleys, the rest of the deck will pretty much be cheap for you. Plus, you don't really need to pay a lot for an extra deck, because Gravekeepers really don't use an extra deck all that much. So I would highly suggest, for cheapness and effectiveness, Gravekeepers if you're trying to go to your locals. Gear if you're trying to go to a major tournament like regionals, or trying to top at a major event. But also, I don't know your personal Blue Eyes build, so I can't tell you. My Blue Eyes build, personally, I play just for casual play. So I will just say that. But hope I answered your question very well, my friend. And on to the last question of the night. So guys, I got to everybody's questions. I'm sorry it took me so long. I know it took me over 30. It took me half an hour to get through all your questions, but I try to answer everybody as thoroughly as possible. And I hope everyone enjoyed this video. And if you're actually watching this to the end, thank you, and I give you a high five, and I shake your hand and say thank you very much for watching this, because I put a lot of work into this. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this video very much. So till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and I'll see you all next time. Seto Kaiba, I'm out of here, guys.